Welcome to the 2022 Penrite ProMX presented by AMX Superstores. We are in Wonthaggi, a seaside town located 132 kilometres southeast of Melbourne, known for its mining history and heritage sites. But this weekend, we shake the place up for round one of the ProMX Championship. Hello, I'm Kate Peck, and with me is 11-time national MX champ Lee Hogan. Hogs, it is excellent to be kicking off the 2022 ProMX season with you.
It sure is, Kate. Welcome to the Motocross pits. It's great to have you here. What a fantastic sport we've got on our hands. I tell you what, we're so excited to be back here for round one. After we were cut short tragically last year, we were so devastated. But wow, they put the weather on for us, the sun shining, complete polar contrast to what we had last year. The track guys have done a fantastic job. The riders are all keen to get into it. Exciting times.
Yeah, round one fever and excitement. You can feel it up here, and especially with this incredible view, we've got an action-packed year ahead. So what are you looking forward to?
Well, I'm looking forward to the spread over all three classes. MX1, MX2, MX3. Very, very deep field, and quite possibly the deepest field that we've seen in all three of those classes. I love MX3, the unknowns. I guarantee you there's going to be some names that we haven't even heard of that end up on podiums throughout the year. A very exciting young lad, Caden Minion, still 2 years left in juniors, favourite to win the championship, almost unheard of.
And of course, as you mentioned, the classes are stacked, but who do you think is going to bring home the bacon for the Thor MX1?
Well, look, a lot of people are talking about the battle between Kyle Webster and Luke Clout, the newcomer versus the established #1 star. And I think we're going to see that go right the way through the whole season. It's going to be a bit of a tug-of-war battle between them. We could see Aaron Tanti in there in the mix as well. However, it's going to be so difficult to stop Kyle Webster here on home turf this round. He's going to start the season exceptionally well, and from there, they're going to have to try to peg him back, but I think it's going to be hard to stop throughout the championship.
And what also is excellent is having the MXW class back. It's presented by Easy Lift this year, but we've got about 25 girls that are going to be lining up on that gate.
Yeah, correct. So we've got about 5 or 6 girls that we're going to see out battling for the lead. And we've got a couple of girls that are well up there into their high teens, 18, 19, towards 20. But I'm going to go out on a limb here and say the winner of the championship for 2022 is going to be a young girl who's just stepped up from juniors into seniors only a few weeks ago, not that long ago. So watch this space.
Go on, what's her name? Fill us in.
Well, I'm going to keep that on the down low. Can't give you too much info.
Okay. All right, well, let's check out what we've got on track for today. First up, Thor MX1, Moto 1, followed by the young guns in Max's MX3, Moto 2, then the stacked field of Pirelli MX2, Moto 2, and finally, the big boys battle it out in the final MX1 race, Moto 2. It's going to be chock-a-block out there today. And to preview the track ahead, it's former Pro MX athlete, Danny Ham.
We open up the account for the Michelin Track Preview here at Wonthaggi ProMX 2022. First thing we notice when we come out here this morning is simply how much dirt has been put on top of the track. Now, we all know the start line is one of the most important parts of any race. We've covered that so many times. We go through our first few corners, but here in Wonthaggi, it funnels down into this really tight part of the track. Now, 40 riders in a stretch of track that's only 6 meters wide, there is not a lot of room for any of these guys to get through. So you'll see a lot of bar banging, a lot of elbows up, really aggressive riding, trying to get that position early on in the race so that they can get a much better start to their moto. The one thing I did want to point out though is the fact that it has been built up so much has created these really high edges. And as you can see right here with how tight and narrow it is, putting 40 riders in here inevitably will probably put someone off the track. And if they do that, they're going to have to go down these edges and then somehow try and get themselves back up onto the track without tangling themselves in these banners. So that alone is going to present a big challenge for these riders when they open up their moto race accounts.
Now, traditionally, when you think of motocross, you don't necessarily think of big jumps. And here at Wonthaggi for round one of the ProMX, we've actually got a couple of big senders on our hands. And the biggest is right behind me here. Step up out of the corner, 23 meters from the tip of the takeoff all the way to the tip of the landing ramp. Another thing I'm liking here in the way that they've prepared the track here at Wonthaggi is they've dragged quite a bit of sand up the takeoff ramps. This could cause a little bit of grief for some of the riders out there and how they tackle it. If you have a look over my left-hand shoulder here, you can really tell the distance on this 23-metre booter. Well, now we can see here from a rider's perspective, once you land off this biggest jump, it's not just negotiating your way over this jump, we actually have to try to tackle by far the most trickiest and technical part of the circuit, these sand rollers. Now, as you can see, it's weaving its way through to the right, which makes it extremely technical. And it's famous here for bringing riders unstuck. We're going to see a lot of passing opportunities here, and riders are going to have to be on their A game and change their lines as the track evolves throughout the moto.
Adding to Lee's part from over the back there, those set of words, we have another set right here. The one thing I want to point out before we even move is simply how soft this soil is at the moment. Now, they've poured a lot of dirt in, we've discussed that already. This is not the final product though. We've been assured by the maintenance crew that these nice, soft, rolling whoops are going to be much harder to get through. They're going to build them up and it's really going to test these riders. Anyone that wants to be at the front of the field this weekend has really got to bring their A game. These are going to be tough. The rest of the track is going to be tough. It's going to be rutted. It's going to really challenge these guys. And that there is going to be your track preview by Michelin.
Here we are. We're only moments away. We're in the starters' hands. It's excitement time. It is go time for MX2. Keep your eyes peeled on the gate. Who's going to get that whole shot here? Moto number 2 of the Pirelli MX2.
Oh, the swing around from the outside looks pretty strong. Yamaha is up there, but
another good start from Wilson Todd. That looks like on the inside. He's come out. He didn't get the whole shot, but he has come out with the lead after turn 2. And that's Ryder Kingsford back there in second place.
Kingsford didn't have the best moto number 1. Looks like Dylan Wills possibly also in third place, who also didn't have a great start to moto number 1. So we've got some heavy hitters up there. Reece Budd, who had a terrible moto number 1, is up there as well. So we are looking at a bit more talent depth in the front part of this. All 2 riders coming very close together.
Yeah, well, that's Noah Ferguson. I can just tell from those jersey prints is really easy to pick up. But he was, of course, our early leader in race number 1. But you're right, Reece Budd, we're used to seeing him get good starts like this. We had to come from last place in Moto 1.
As riders funnel through, we'll try and pick up some more. There is Yokoyama just going through there and around about 12th place by the looks of it. 10th place on our timing as the rest of the field streams through here. And what a start for the Honda rider. Wilson Todd, exactly where he needs to be.
Well, Larwood was the only one that had anywhere near the lap time pace of Wilson Todd, and he finds himself back in around 7th or 8th place. But the 7 Motorsports whole shot for Wilson Todd.
Great way to start this round number 1. He said it wasn't easy after the first moto. He had to work for it, so right now he's in a much better position. Reece Budd still sits there in 3rd. 4th is Malkowitz, who had a good moto number 1 with a small tip over. Unfortunate for him, but he was looking very fast. So go up and over that tabletop again. Just see how whooped out coming out of that turn already is getting. And the lead that is already being stretched by our leader.
Well, I was just about to make comment, Danny. I just can't see anyone in the top 5 or 6 that's got the lap time speed to be able to challenge Wilson Todd, unfortunately. So he would know that. He's a smart rider, and I do understand that his mechanics will be letting him know, as we've seen a couple of riders come together here. I think that's Matt Fusco. And number 153, I believe, is that Corey McMahon?
Yep.
So a couple of those guys coming together. McMahon's one of our top off-road riders who's right up there in the AORC. Yeah, we're back on our race leader once again. Wilson Todd on the factory Honda HRC machine. Stretching the lead out a little bit, but nothing too crazy. Ryder Kingsford putting in a very exceptionally good ride here in 2nd place. And let's not forget, he was the one to be battling with Blake Fox for overall wins in the MX3 class.
last year, and Fox, of course, came out on top well and truly in that battle. Blake Fox all the way down in 13th at the moment. Ryder Kingsford finds himself there in 2nd place. So that's the difference that a good start can make here for you in this MX2 class. That's how deep the field is.
Yeah, start's important. Fox not being so strong in these opening couple of races here off the start, so he'll go back home and certainly work on that to make sure he's in a better fighting position for the one, for the overalls on the day. I guess you've got to start somewhere with that being your first goal, and then 2, if that starts becoming consistent, maybe then thinking about where you sit in the championship and what you can do to get up there. Will's there in 6th place. He's got a bit of pressure as well.
Well, Larwood's starting to make a little bit of a charge now. He's got up into 5th, Danny, and he finds himself on the back of Bailey Malkowitz, and I mean right on the back of Bailey Malkowitz right there. So it's a little bit of a Yamaha freight train going on between Kingsford, Budd, Malkowitz and Larwood, filling out your 2nd, 3rd, 4th and 5th spots on the track. It's Bailey Malkowitz and Reese Budd are old sparring partners from many years ago, from coming right through juniors. I've lost count on the amount of times these guys have rubbed plastic on the track. So great to see them having made their way all the way up into the MX2 class together and battling on track once again for position.
Malkowitz just making the pass there on Budd up the inside, nice and smooth. And Larwood's still running that outside line there, trying to get some kind of swing around and get that momentum going. He's got a couple of hard riders to get past, though, in front of him. It's not going to make it easy at all.
Especially when they're involved in their own little battle going on. I was just about to make comment, Danny, that's one of the beautiful things about sport of motocross. Unlike V8 supercars, MotoGP, for example, when you've got your bitumen circuit type tracks, the changes that they see each lap are maybe due to temperature, etc. These tracks that we get on motocross, they don't just change each race, they change every single lap. So quite often you could be the race leader and come through and plough into some beautiful berm that's going to hold your wheels in place, and by the time 39 other riders go through, you come around the next lap and it's non-existent, it's not even there. And that's even more so the case with these nice ruts that we like to tip it into, and someone's just blasted through and used their front wheel as a bulldozer and bulldozed their way straight through a rut. Just watching him, Danny, to me, looks like he's physically grown since last year, since we've watched him on the TV and called the action. He really was a kid, I don't know if you remember, but watching him battle with Blake Fox, he was just, commentator's curse, just thrown down onto Ryder Kingsford, giving him a bit of a rap there on how he's physically filled out just a little bit. I was making mention of last year watching him, he really seemed like he was just a passenger on the bike, just sort of flapping in the breeze kind of thing, whereas he really looks like he's come of age a little bit. As we can see here, another example of a front wheel washout. Most of the crashes that we've seen today, both of Kyle Webster's crash in Moto 1 and the MX1 were front wheel related. That was another front wheel related one. I think there's a lot going on out here.
Basic maneuver there just to try and get past that lap rider as well. We saw, well, let's go down to K-Pack.
This mechanic has his pit board out and it says you can, but I had a chat to him to see how he found the pace between Moto 1 and Moto 2, and it really was just his start. They made no changes to the bike. He's just found that speed, but obviously he's had that little issue that you guys witnessed. But yeah, he's back, he's hungry, and his mechanic is really impressed with his speed as a rookie.
Well, as we approach the midway point of this race, the Pirelli MX2 Moto 2, and of course a substantial lead from Wilson Todd. It's time to duck off for a quick little commercial break. We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. Well, it looks to me as if that gap has gone down even further now. I think we're talking 1.8 seconds. Our leaderboard is currently telling us that anyway. So we'll know a little bit more as we come through. We've got our first and second place getters trying to make their way through lapped riders at the moment. A little bit of a kick sideways there for our second place rider, Alex Larwood. The Wilson Todd, we've only got 3 minutes 30 on the clock, and it's definitely getting closer now. Alex Larwood is within striking range. It's only going to take one mistake now and he'll be all over the back of him. So we're going to see who's done more work, who's in better shape, who's been doing more fitness work. This is where it's going to tell a tale.
Well, he is close enough now for himself to take advantage of the momentum that he has got going forwards. It's funny when you're sitting that 2 seconds back, how it just seems like such a challenge to get in there and close that gap. But once you get close enough, things seem to happen really quick. You seem to make up that gap just that little bit quicker than normal, and all of a sudden you've got a new lease of life. And it appears that's almost what's happening right now. A lapped rider just on the outside. But he really needs to keep it clean, though. He can't make mistakes. Otherwise, our leader will just continue to hold that lead as they go around.
Yeah, once again, look, I think Wilson Todd is in the 150.2, which I think at this latter stage of the race, where we've only got 2 minutes 30 left on the clock, that's still a pretty good time. I think he's slightly out of his comfort zone. I don't think you'd say he's riding midweek cruisy pace, by no means. Larwood in there with a low 149. He is showing that he's prepared to let it all hang out, but he's not making mistakes. He's riding fast, and I just think another lap or so and we could see him all over the back of the Honda rider.
Malkowitz has dropped back quite a ways now, 14 seconds back, still there in third place, comfortably over Dobson. And then Kingsford is back into 5th place. So I think he's made that pass, if I'm correct, the lead past Bud. Kingsford made it back up past one. So still a solid ride from Kingsford after that little drop. But this is really where the action's going to be over these next 2 laps. 1:40, so we are going to have 2 laps left.
The fantastic drive from Larwood out of the left-hand turn before the big 23-metre step up. You could just see he seemed to have a slightly different line. Look, we can see there, he's all over the back of him now.
Lapped riders still playing a part in this race, as they are doing through the rest of today. These lines, you have to be so careful with where you go, and if you fall into the same one or decide to take the same line as what we saw with, I guess, Luke Cloud sort of didn't quite predict that line properly with the lapped rider, can easily bring you unstuck and slow you up.
As we start to see Alex Larwood now ease up onto the back of Wilson Todd, he's still not quite within striking range at the moment. What we need to keep our eyes peeled for is parts of the track. It's our job, Hammy, to try to spot somewhere where we can predict a pass might potentially be made. And I don't think I've seen a couple of places where Larwood's a bit faster, but there doesn't seem to be any spots on the track where Wilson Todd's just completely leaving himself wide open for a pass.
No, but it's always that part of the finish line that seems to be Larwood's strong point. So at the moment, if you were to call somewhere, I think maybe there, but I couldn't pinpoint exactly where there.
Well, I'm looking forward to watching them as they come through, and I spotted last time in 2 corners time, Danny, where they make a right here and head down. There's a tight left-hander that Larwood seemed to just get better drive. So let's watch what happens here as they come into this left-hander right here. It looks like, I'm not quite sure how he does it, but coming up through here, looked like he bounced back just a little bit more to the left and missed those couple of jumps, and he stays further to the right here on these rollers. And a big kick sideways for Wilson Todd. Completely different lines, but he seems to have held his ground a little bit there.
Strong ride, 1 lap to go as they come past the finish line this time around. That lap rider almost looked like he was going, oh, big moment right there for our race leader. Your back end getting kicked right sideways onto the face of that jump.
Last lap board out, 1 lap to go for Wilson Todd for him to take a double victory here at round 1 at Wonthaggi. And let's follow through what Danny said.
Lead rider just here again, sideways off there, gives a bit of a kick back.
Nasty part of the track. Larwood has latched on. He has managed to catch up about a half a second, I'm going to say, through here. And Wilson Todd cannot afford to make any mistakes on this final lap.
Nice and smooth. Still maintaining around about 1 second gap over Larwood, which is probably as good as you'd want it to be on the very final lap. Of course, you'd like a bit more, but it's much better than having breathing down the very back of him as they go towards these tail tops and again into some more lapped riders. Oh, missed the line just there and jumped to the outside. Didn't hurt him too much.
No, a little bit of a mistake there. It looked to me like, I think you were watching Wilson Todd and I was watching Alex Larwood, and I think they both made consecutive simultaneous mistakes there. So it kind of evened itself out a little bit. But once again, Larwood finds himself in that position where he's almost close enough, but not quite. He just needs that little mistake from Wilson Todd. But it's only going to be a few corners, and we're going to have double victory here for Wilson Todd on the Honda HRC machine. I think it's a little bit too little, too late for the Yamaha rider. Look how far outside Wilson Todd has managed to go. But he's managed to keep it clean as he comes through. One more corner to go, and I think it's going to be celebration time down in the Honda pits as Wilson Todd on the Honda HRC machine comes through on the CRF 250R to take a double victory here. One hand off, a little bit of a wave to the crowd, an acknowledgement on a spectacular job here to kick off his season 2022.
We'll wait for our third place rider to come across. It should be Bailey Malkowitz, but he is a long way back. He'll be on the Yamaha just in front of Dobson if everything plays out the way it is at the moment. There is Malkowitz just coming across. So another solid ride there by Bailey Malkowitz. A good way to start this MX2, Pirelli MX2 class at round one here at Wonthaggi. Really setting up stage for a fantastic championship that we've got. Plenty more races to go in this. Really looking forward to seeing these next couple of rounds and see who's stronger in the different riding styles that we will be coming up with as we take a look at the Pirelli results for MX2. Wilson Todd, of course, your winner, Alex Larwood, Bailey Malkowitz, Jesse Dobson, Ryder Kingsford after his little four. Unfortunate for him, but he should take away a lot of confidence out of this race. Reese Budd, Jay Constantino, Dylan Wills, Haruyuki Yokoyama with another good one, and also Liam Andrews comes across in 10th.
11th place, Caleb Byram. Brody Connolly there in 12th place. Noah Ferguson after his sensational start in Moto 1. No TV time, unfortunately, for him in Moto 2, but great job on the gas there. Blake Fox also on the gas. Back to Hugh McKay, the Tasmanian, in 15th place. Chandler Burns. And there we have Sam Larson in 21st place.
So many quick riders out there that's probably felt it a little bit more than others today on this very tough track. It's always a real test here down at Wonthaggi. It really makes the strong riders, especially the sand riders, shine, and really tough. If you're having a hard day, it's just going to be a battle all day long. So, looking forward to see how some of these guys bounce back over the next couple of rounds.
And in P3, Bailey Malkowitz, congratulations from Serco Yamaha. Now, I know you've got a pretty sore finger. How did that go throughout that ride?
Yeah, I mean, the finger is a bit cut up, but after the start and the first few laps, you can't really feel it. But once the adrenaline comes down at the end of the moto, when you're a bit tired, yeah, it starts to throb and hurt a bit. But nah, just big tops to the boys. They're on another level at this track, so just happy to have a good result after two not so good years. But just massive shout out to Serco Yamaha, 547, Ford Dale, Pod, Bulk Nutrients, and everyone else just helping me get back onto the podium.
Excellent stuff, Bailey. Well, congratulations, and it's really great to have you back in Australia.
Thank you very much.
Excellent. Good work, Bailey. And in P2 from Yamalube Yamaha, Alex Larwood. Congratulations. You had a bit of an average start, but you made it up in that race.
Yeah, I didn't get off to the best of a start, but I put my head down and charged forward, and really happy where I ended up.
And you were pretty relaxed going into that race too. I chatted to you on the gate.
Yeah, I just kept it relaxed and just did my thing.
Excellent stuff. Well done in P2, Alex Larwood. And once again, for Honda Racing, Wilson Todd. Now, you made a few mistakes in there, but congratulations on a P1.
Yeah, cheers. Got off to a pretty good start. Can't get much better than that. And just cruised around. I was definitely on the struggle bus, and these boys were riding well, kept me right on my wheel the whole way, so can't complain too much. We came away with the wins.
Yeah, excellent stuff. And how was the track forming up out there?
It's pretty gnarly. There's just bumps everywhere, they ripped the hell out of it the last few days and watered it, so that's the way National should be. So, yeah, happy with it, and just like to thank the whole Honda Racing team, Terra Firma, all the sponsors associated with the team. There's a ton of them who go on all day, but thanks to everyone behind the scenes.
Good work, well done. Congratulations to all the boys for the Pirelli MX2 Moto 2. Bravo.
Well, sensational job from our first, second and third place getters there in the Pirelli MX2 class. And of course, our overall winner, Wilson Todd. What a way to start your championship campaign.
There were 70 entrants. These guys all had to qualify just to be able to make it to the main show today.
Well, originally there were 80, and then they were knocking people back. So they culled it at 80, and then unfortunately, due to whether it was injury, illness, not being able to get there, it went down to 70-something. So talk about a popular class. Anyone tries to say that the popularity of our sport, let's not even specifically talking about the MX3 class, is not that good, well, you need to take a look at yourself, because have a listen to those numbers and you can be well and truly rest assured that our sport is thriving and kicking on.
The Maxxis MX3 Moto number 2 is only moments away. The 15-second board is up. Soon as that goes sideways, we'll have a full 5 seconds and the gate can drop any time after that. Who is going to launch out quick this time? It was the 60 machine last time around.
Brock Flynn.
It's going to be a massive start. Who will jump out first?
Let's try to pick them up in the middle. Looks like we've got a red bike, a couple of red bikes coming in together. Is it a gas? Is it a Honda machine? It's hard till we get down a little bit closer.
Oh, 62.
Yeah, we've got Byron Dennis, number 23, a junior rider back there, but we've got a senior, number 62. That is, you called it, Ryan Alexanderson. No, that's number 82.
Oh, my apologies.
Campbell Williams.
Up again.
Campbell Williams, our winner from race 1. I am so not used to seeing Campbell with number 82 on his bike. He's ridden for me for the last 3 years and then turned senior, changes his number, and I don't even recognise him on the bike. I should have recognised that style, however. He has already started to check out, and a little bit of a gap now over second place rider, Byron Dennis. We need to try to pick up here on lap timing and see where Caden Minion is situated this time around. 8th place. Not a great start for the young junior, however, a heck of a lot better than race 1.
Fairbrother sits there on the 222 machine in 3rd place. Right behind him is Flynn, who had the early lead in Moto number 1. Works his way around the outside here. It looks like he'll make the pass as they go into that left-hand turn. Williams, though, nice and comfortable, already opening up that lead over Byron Dennis.
And once again, back to Brock Flynn there, who's moved up into 3rd place, I believe, now. The timing saying Fairbrother back there in 3rd place, but it's clearly, as we see a... Yep, here we go. We've got a Honda replay about to come up on screen.
Few riders all coming together here deep in the pack as they head towards that finish line. It looks like, I think that was Hunter Collins, the true 664 machine.
How good does that look with all these riders coming up and over that finish line in formation? Fantastic. Our race leader, Campbell Williams, would have just grown in confidence from that first race. Our MX3 Moto2 Matrix Concepts hole shot, and a clear hole shot for Campbell Williams. Now we see a couple of riders tagging and going down together.
High-bonning there, the 460 machine. That was the one that was lying on the ground, so unfortunate for him. Still plenty of time in this moto to make some form of comeback. But it's going to be a lot to ask at the moment, that far back, as Williams extends that lead over Dennis. And Flynn has moved right onto the back wheel now of Dennis. Remembering we saw in Moto number 1 at least that Dennis did make the pass on Flynn sort of mid-race. So maybe you'll see a role reversal right here. But Fairbrother is also just behind them. Kai Woods back there, Aslop, Drew, Towell, and seem to be missing someone. Oh, a little kick right there.
Oh, I'm trying to pick up
Caden
Minion, and he doesn't seem to be...
He's all the way down to 24th, according to our timing.
Yeah, we've had... Yeah, certainly had some kind of major drama from Caden Minion. He's made his way up to 22nd now, but obviously something has happened off camera for Caden Minion. Has had some kind of a get-off or an off-track excursion, but you wouldn't have thought he'd lost so many positions just from going off the track. All right, we'll take a little bit of a look here at the slow-motion replay at the start. Great shot there. Roost absolutely flying out the back of that starting gate.
So pass through the mechanics area just here. This would be start of lap number 2. Our leader just in the background as well.
I know we're only early stages of this Moto 2 of the Maxxis MX3 class, but Campbell Williams staring down the barrel of maximum points, going 1-1 perhaps. What a way to start off your campaign.
Yeah, great ride so far. There is Liam Jackson with 2:15.
Battling through the AMX Superstores right-hander there after the finish line, doing a fantastic job. It's great. You wouldn't believe you'd be able to fit so many riders in one corner at the same time.
Well, there is the pass that's been made now by the looks of it.
Brock Flynn.
Yep, he's up into second place in front of Byron Dennis now. So they make their way over that very tricky double with those ruts. Oh, a little dab of the foot there by Flynn. Dennis still sits there in third. So can Dennis find that groove? Might be just a little bit tight in the opening laps of this race. He certainly looked very comfortable at the end of Moto number 1.
We'll just quickly make mention, Danny, a lap time of a 1:51 from Campbell Williams, 0.5. Brock Flynn and Byron Dennis and Kai Woods all in the 1:53s. So 2 full seconds faster a lap from Campbell Williams. He is not only looking like he's out on a very cruisy practice midweek ride, but he is stretching the lead 2 seconds at a time.
Those laps, those times are very comparable to the MX2 guys as well. We saw some 49s, 48s out of the MX1 guys just a moment ago. So very fast lap times indeed.
Well, I know Campbell Williams and recently ran times and race results. He was up in the top 3 in the Gippsland Centre race down here at Wonthaggi up against the MX2 class. There was a lot of riders, of course, knowing full well round 1 of the ProMX was going to be here, that they elected to go race just a little local Gippsland Centre race. And Campbell right up there in the top 3 ahead of some of the key players. I believe he may have been ahead of Alex Larwood, who was battling for the race win in MX2.
Well done on that one. That's a big ask to try and be up there. We saw Larwood in Moto number 1 of the MX2 was right up there as well. Very fast, challenging for that lead. So brilliant ride to be up there. And it's showing right now with the lead that keeps extending out for Williams on the 82 machine. 7 seconds clear now over Flynn in second. Dennis still holds third. And that gap hasn't really changed too much.
Byron Dennis back on screen again at the moment. He's looking good. He's consistently been up in the top 3.
Oh, there's a yellow flag down.
Yeah,
where Williams
it is. Campbell Williams. He had another one of those little mistakes. Remember, in the first race, we thought he was in the lead and about to set sail. Mistake off the track. But this was more. This was a bigger one. Did he go down or did he go off the track?
Yeah, I think he actually went down 7 seconds. That's a lot. That's a lot to lose. So still maintains that lead. Gets back up there. And holds the lead down at the moment.
When you watch him and you watch him riding exceptionally well, Campbell Williams, you think to yourself, look how smooth and easy he's doing it. However, over the years, he's got himself a bit of a reputation for, at the oddest of occasions, having a random crash. And I think sometimes when you like that, you can sometimes get it in your head and just go, oh no, I wonder if hopefully I don't have a crash here. And then all of a sudden you can bring that on and something silly happens.
Well, he can't lay down too much at the moment with Flynn right there. Looking much better than he did in Moto number 1 is Flynn. Looks a lot more comfortable this time out.
And what you got to remember, Brock Flynn from Western Australia, Sandgroper, these type of tracks, the rougher it gets, the better. He's used to riding tracks like Coastal, like AJS, like Manjimup, tracks that would just eat you up for breakfast when it comes to big bumps. So the further this day goes on, the rougher the track gets, it's going to play into his hands more. Now we see the Wilson Todd line there from Brock Flynn.
Investigating all the track at the moment, trying to find something different, an answer to try and get up there. But Williams now creeps away, opens up just a small gap, and it doesn't take long until you have enough of a gap that that rider in behind, with that big moment.
Nice little whip there. The back end gave him a bit of a slap with the helmet almost, Brock Flynn, but no problem for the young Western Australian. He's trying to latch onto the back of Campbell Williams, and he's just praying for another mistake from the kid from Orange in New South Wales on the Ride Red Honda machine. He's been on the red machines for 4 years now. He's stepped up into seniors.
There is Williams stretching out that lead over Flynn. Dennis back there. Alsop also having a good ride in 4th place at the moment.
Brock Flynn very fast through those rollers. Did you see him just double into those first 2? And that put him from about a 1.5 seconds behind Campbell Williams to all over the back of him. That's his spot on the track.
Very comfortable through those deep rolling whoops as they go back up over the finish line here to knock down another lap. These guys looking very comfortable. But there's still plenty in this race. We're going to take a quick break. Don't go anywhere. Plenty of action after this.
The number 82 machine on the Honda has put together an almost flawless couple of rides here. A couple of little rookie mistakes, off the track a couple of times, possibly even a little bit of a get-off. But other than that, it's been all clear sailing for the kid from Orange in New South Wales who trains under the tutelage of the Beatons Pro Formula, trained off the bike by John Park. And everything is coming together nicely for him. Brock Flynn, the Western Australian, back there in 2nd place. Byron Dennis on the factory gas machine. Another young junior with a couple of years under his belt still to go. Likewise for Jet Alsop back there in 4th. So some good showings here for the young juniors. Jack Mather, the Queenslander, up there in 5th place. Connor Towell in 6th, so I'd expect a little bit more from him. Back to the ProMX Championships here at Wonthaggi for Penrite Oils and, of course, AMX Superstores. Campbell Williams continuing to lead Moto 2 of the MX3 class here, carrying number 82 on his Honda CRF 250R here. A new number for the young lad, and he is representing the number 82 exceptionally well here at Wonthaggi.
Running back through our leaderboard there, we see that a few riders down there just before the finish line. Williams having to negotiate his way around them, but I did just see that Minion, while we were at break, Lee, we saw that he was down quite a long way, but now he's just made another one. He's entered into the top 10, moved himself up into 9th just a moment ago.
Yeah, great charge, but just way too many mistakes, and something that we wouldn't really expect. And I'm probably being a little bit tough on him because let's face it, last year he was even younger. He was 13 last year. And he finished top 3 in the championship. So if it seems like we're being a little bit tough on him, it's because he was top 3 in the championship. You would expect a little more consistency from him here, but hey, we need to give credit where it's due, and we need to bring into consideration just how young he is. But 16-year-old Campbell Williams done his time in juniors, stepped up into seniors, and showing what it's all about. This MX3 class has been a revelation the last couple of years, and we'd only just got started 3 rounds in when we had to call the championship last year. This was one of the most exciting classes in the championship last year.
A flag marshal should be watching them bikes coming towards just with those ruts. You can see how easily they can get let offline. We see the battle here between these couple of riders.
Ryan Alexanderson and Connor Towell.
As they work their way through here.
Minion there is up on the back of, there we had number 46. being Kobe Drew. Beautiful line from Caden Minion up there around the outside bike, skipping a little bit sideways, relegating Drew back a position and tipping it in exceptionally hard there. He's made his way up another spot. So we continue to watch the rise of Caden Minion coming through the pack. There's Connor Towell a couple of positions back.
Drew just going off track there just momentarily. Alexanderson is in front, is the next one in Minion's hit list as they head towards the finish line as well. Alexanderson also was buried pretty deep in the field through these opening laps, so he's had to work rather hard. He's one of the riders just cruising through those whoops. Up and over the finish line, here they come. And these are the 2 riders we just spoke of, Alexanderson and Minion right there on screen. So this will be a good little battle for 6th and 7th at the moment.
Almost having deja vu from race number 1, Danny, when we saw Minion come through the pack. Very similar pace to Alexanderson. They came through together, leapfrogging rider after rider, but they came through, you know, almost in formation together. But once again, Minion is the one that's all over the back of Alexanderson, and we'll see how long Alexanderson can hold the KTM rider out behind him. Byron Dennis on screen at the moment. But 3.7 seconds the gap between Campbell Williams and Brock Flynn back there in 2nd place. And that's come down a little bit. It was 4.2 a lap ago. Now, have we seen another tiny little mistake from Campbell Williams? Or have we seen Brock Flynn pick that pace up ever so slightly? Lap timing and scoring shows us there are 155.9 for Campbell Williams and Brock Flynn 156.0. So we're basically mirroring each other's times here, almost identical.
Well, Minion and Alexanderson's times the last time around were actually quicker than the lead rider of Williams. So they are definitely moving in the right direction, but you just can't afford to let any of those riders get that kind of a lead at the start of the race.
Oh, especially when we're talking they're 24 seconds and 25 seconds apiece behind the race leader. You just can't afford to do that with a rider like Campbell Williams.
Not at all. Our leader back across the finish line. There is, who's that 142? Is Alsop.
Jet Alsop, yeah.
We haven't seen him too much on the screen.
Up in the top 3. It was a great job there. So who have we had? Byron Dennis we've had a drama with, because he was up in the top 3, Danny, and he was staring down the barrel of the podium overall, and unfortunately he's dropped himself back to top 5. Now, we'll have to get confirmation with the points and how the overall is going to sit, but Byron Dennis still may be in podium contention there. I think without a doubt we'll have Campbell Williams, if he goes 1-1, it's a given. He's got the overall. Brock Flynn will be up there somewhere, having a reasonably good ride in that first one with 4th place, a 4th and a 2nd. I believe will give him 2nd place overall, because currently Jet Alsop's in 3rd place and he finished all the way down in 12th place. So it's really going to have quite a bit to do with how far Caden Minier can make his way up, but with 2 minutes on the clock still to go, I think he's got his work cut out to get up much further than 7th place. So I believe we may see Byron Dennis and Brock Flynn filling out those minor placings on the podium.
There is Williams just about to put a lap down on the 4:23 machine. We'll have to be nice and careful coming through these lap riders, pick his lines and make sure that no unforeseen mistakes happen. As he works his way around, there should be 2 laps to go. When he goes past this time around, the lap time should count down as he completes his next lap.
The other thing to consider, Danny, as well for Campbell Williams, yeah, he's had a couple of mistakes, but if you come away here with maximum points 1-1 and you look at your next closest competitor, got a 2nd and a 4th, that's a good points haul. He's going to come into round 2 with a very good points gap over his next closest competitor and someone that he would probably consider his main championship rival. We've got Caden Minier, got 3rd place in Moto 1, and if he continues to stay down in 7th place, he's got some serious points to catch up on our championship points leader. He's going to have that red plate going into round number 2.
Jack Mather just moves himself up into 3rd place now, makes the pass on Alsop, and straight out to 1.5 seconds lead over him. So maybe a mistake there by Alsop to drop that fast back. Mather, though, certainly according to our timing anyway, he's moved himself up into 3rd on the 43 machine.
Things look very similar back there in 6th and 7th place with Alexanderson and Minier. They continue to be gapped by 0.5 of a second. So they're battling, but no major changes happening. A lap being put down here from, we've got Campbell Williams coming through to put a lap down on his teammate. It slots up the inside, no problem whatsoever. He's in salvage mode at the moment, just coming through and making sure he doesn't put a foot wrong in these closing stages, as time has completely elapsed and we have got what they say is 2 laps, but of course it's about 1.5 laps. The next time he crosses over the finish line, Campbell Williams will receive the 1 lap to go board. He's got himself a nice little gap around about 5 seconds over second place rider Brock Flynn, Husqvarna rider from Western Australia. Jack Mather back there in third place from Queensland. He finds himself just 2 seconds adrift of Brock Flynn.
Well, that last lap around, Flynn, Mathers, there was 5 seconds difference between their lap time. Mather puts down a 52, Flynn a 57. So I don't know what happened there.
Yeah, so you have to look, I guess, at two things. I think a bit of a slow one for Brock Flynn, but a super fast one for Mather, who was the fastest on the track. 3 seconds faster than Campbell Williams.
And 2 seconds difference again that time around. So it's going to get close. It is on screen. Look at your gap. Third, second and third. Only 0.8 between them now. So second and third is super tight. Will Jack Mather be able to get up there with the pace he's running? According to our lap times, he certainly has that chance to. There's no way they're going to catch this guy out in front, barring a mistake, but he looks too comfortable at the moment and should run away with the win on this one. The minor places, though, certainly not decided just yet.
Yes, fantastic points haul for Campbell Williams, and he should be exceptionally proud of himself to come in a little bit underdone, still injured after a practice crash a few weeks ago. As we see this battle starting to erupt now, we've still got enough time for positions to change for second and third.
Well, that was them that just shot through screen on left. About to go on the back of screen right now for second and third place. As we see our leader make his way through this big left-hand sweeper. Looking very comfortable. Sunday ride. Campbell Williams, you'd be easy thinking that he wasn't putting in at the moment, or the entire race, just by the way he rides, but clearly he is. His lap times show that he's very fast, and he is just controlling that lead right now.
Fantastic day at the races for Campbell Williams on the Ride Red Honda program. And what a way to start the series campaign. He had some terrific races last year in his debut year as a junior in the MX3 category. But you don't get any better than first place, and the way to do it is to go 1-1. What a fantastic job, and he will come away with maximum points here. And a terrific win. Moto 2 backing up a Moto 1 victory for Campbell Williams. Can't do any more than that, Danny Ham.
It looks like Flynn managed to hold on there. He's come across in second place, just in front of Jack Mather. 0.6 the difference between those two.
Checkered flag waving as the riders continue to come across the line, and Caden Minion managed to make his way up into 6th place, but he continues to be behind Ryan Alexanderson. It was Byron Dennis who ended up getting relegated down to 7th place. Dropped a couple of positions there in that last lap, unfortunately for him. And what I thought was going to be very close to a safe podium is going to be a tough one right now. I have to wait till those points are tallied up. Ty Keane back there coming through in 8th place. So a great job for Campbell Williams starting his series campaign the right way with a 1-1, and his next closest competitor quite a few points behind. Let's have a look here. Max's Tires results, MX3 Moto 2, Campbell Williams from Brock Flynn and Jack Mather.
Out top with another fantastic ride. Minion worked his way through. Ty Keane back there in 8th place. Liam Owens, who we didn't get to mention at all, finishes there in 10th place.
Seth Birchall back there in 11th. Cooper Holroyd hasn't quite shown the form today that we expected from him from some of his results from last year. Likewise for Connor Towell, who had a couple of podiums last year. Kobe Handis, a young junior. Jake Cannon likewise. Liam Jackson. Hickson McGuinness made his way up to 17th place. Deacon Pace, Rory Fairbrother and Cody Kilpatrick.
It's a long list of riders that can be certainly up there in the coming rounds as we take a look at the Honda highlights now of Moto number 2 of the MX3 class. And what a start it was for Williams, straight out of the gate. Clear to see right there was the 82.
Yeah, very good jump out of the gate there. We take a look at that super slow-mo here, and someone just lofting that front wheel, just dumping the clutch with a full 4-finger handful.
Great start. Looks like that might have been Handis just going across the screen there. Small moments for Williams and a little bit of pressure there from our second place rider, but wasn't ever challenged after that. Once again, he just cleared out and ran an exceptional race to go on for the win in this one.
was all about the Honda rider Campbell Williams coming through to take the win in Moto number 2. And we see roll-off film. There's nothing worse than that, Danny Ham. Roll-offs flying out the back. The rider's gone down, doesn't look to be wanting to move in a hurry, but a nice little fist pump there. That's what you do when you get a double win.
Yeah, got to be happy with the performance today. I spoke to him earlier in the day, and he was quietly confident. He wasn't sure with the injury how he was going to go, but he was very confident. So great win, and we have got Kate Peck down with him and the winners in the other places as well, down on the podium.
In P3, Jack Mather, congratulations on the Husky. You look absolutely exhausted.
Yeah, it was definitely a tough moto, but my MP suspension made the moto so much easier, and I had heaps of fun out there, and the boys rode awesome, so props to them, and yeah, I'm looking forward to doing it next time at Mackay.
Yes, indeed. Well, congratulations. You go and enjoy that.
Thanks, guys.
All right, and in P2, a big congratulations to Brock Flynn. Block, come on over. My friend, well done. You're on the Husky. That was a pretty epic battle between you and Jack.
Yeah, I got a 6 start and Campbell went down and I got onto the back of him and just couldn't make it happen. Couldn't make the pass. So I dropped back a bit and yeah, it was a good battle at the end. I've made a few mistakes, but ended up coming through for second, so pretty happy.
Well done, Brock. Great start to the year.
Thank you.
And in P1 for the Maxxis MX3 Moto 2, Campbell Williams, wow, you are just so dominant this weekend.
Yeah, no, it was a pretty good weekend for me. Had two solid motos, which is good, and the boys were riding really good, which is good, and I'd like to thank Honda and Mum and Dad and all my sponsors for the help and getting me here.
How's your shoulder? And you look way too clean, by the way.
Yeah, it's not too bad. It's a little bit sore, but I'll give it a little bit of rest and then I'll get back into it later this week.
Excellent stuff. All right, well, congratulations. You're leading the championship, so that is something nice to take away from this weekend. Well done.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Thanks, boys. Congratulations.
All right, well, Mackay in sunny North Queensland is the site for round 2 of the Penrite Oils ProMX Championships, where once again we'll bring you all the action in the ultra-competitive MX1, MX2 and MX3 classes with both track and weather conditions that will surely keep the riders on their toes. Well, thank you so much for joining us here for round 1 of the Penrite Oils ProMX Championships, brought to you by AMX Superstores. On behalf of myself, Lee Hogan, Danny Ham and Kate Pep, goodbye for now.